But I want to hear from you, a quick snapper. I was shocked to learn that Trudeau is still going full tilt, buying tens of millions of doses
No, yes.
of vaccines. Tell me the stats. I haven't been following this. This comes as a bit of a
Well,
surprise to me.
well, it's not only a surprise, but 90 million doses this year have been purchased by Trudeau. 90 million next year, and I think 90 million for another till it's I think a 3-year contract. So 2000. There is only about 500,000 people now being asking for booster shots, and I think most of them are being forced in old age homes and so on. So clearly something's wrong. But there's a question that I put to people. I raise this issue. I go, well, this is a lot of money for nothing. And of course the apologists, the liberal apologists say, well, what do you expect, man? We were in a crisis, and Trudeau made a long-term contract, so he had to do that. And then, Ezra, here's the question, and everyone forgets the truth and the facts because it's a modern thing to do. But during the crisis, when the vaccines came out, Canada was late in purchasing the vaccines. I think we were the 58th country in line on. So we already knew that the vaccines were not going to work when we bought it. But let's assume that Trudeau did the contract at the very first day. The premise of the vaccines were quite simple. They're 100% effective. They'll get you to herd immunity. All we need is 60 to 70% of the population, 2 doses, and we're free. If we get 60 to 70%, well, in fact, we got about 80%, and everyone got 2 doses, and it didn't do anything. So the question I put to Justin Trudeau or his government is, if you knew that these doses were what you said or advertised, and that they worked 100% or 95% efficacy, that's all we heard, and all we need is 2 shots and we're free and we got herd immunity, then why would you enter into a multi-year contract? Entering into a multi-year contract is an admission that these vaccines didn't work from the beginning, because you wouldn't need it if they worked. So in my view, again, by critical thinking, this is a massive fraud committed by a massive fraud company that has been found guilty with the biggest fraud in history. And simply, they did an arrangement to enrich certain people and probably politicians. But why would you enter into a multi-year contract of a drug that's supposed to free you in the first year?
Yeah, you're referring to Pfizer paying a $2.3 billion fine for deceptive practices. We still don't know which company it was paid $50,000 to bribe the boss of the uniform union. I think it's shocking that has not been shone a light on. I wonder if it's because maybe is it really true that the head of uniform was the only person in the country in public office who took a $50,000 cash payoff? I doubt he was the only one. He's the only one who so far has been caught. And the fact that the rest of the establishment is not named the company.
I gotta give it to Pfizer because they are the largest fraudulent criminal find in history, and that was, I think, a dozen years ago. But I think they learned something, and they learned how do we do it better, and how they did is they co-opted the media. Every ad I watch on TV. So once you got the media on side and you do your vote, I'll call it legal bribery by buying tons of ads. I mean, this is why Fox News probably got rid of Tucker Carlson. He looked at it and said, hey, why are we on the side of Pfizer when we should be on the side of citizens? So I got to give it to the big pharma. They had the doctors, they had the politicians, but you know what? If you get the media on your side, you're never going to see a bad report. Brilliant.
Yeah.